Burning Road.
Hello viewers, well, welcome to a bit of Burning Road on the PlayStation 1. Here we see the Practice Championship link mode, where you could link two consoles at the time to get full screen dual play, as it were. We've got the level there, put that on medium. Controls shows you all the controls except for view change and manual transmission and anything else on the controller. And then you have the different sort of options for sound balancing, save menu, analog setup if you're using what was just being released back then, the Mad Catz steering wheel. This was not for the analog controller at the time. We're going to go to practice mode.
Beginner, please select your car.
I can't speak to this. Always like that. Decided like this.
Choose automatic mode or manual. Decided like this.
Decided like this. So there we are then. Just going with automatic. I don't know what the buttons are, so there was no point in even going to manual, but I wouldn't bother with all the manual in this. The game has the worst rubber band AI ever, but let's talk a little bit about Burning Road. Where's the box for Burning Road? Let's grab it. As we start off there's the box. The Burning Road, still the price sticker on it, $19.99 from HMV. This game was first shown at the Spring ECTS 1996. This here is a rip-off of the Daytona Advanced course, those who will know. And at the time, it looked a lot better than the Saturn sort of version. So at least we had something similar to Daytona that could be good on the PlayStation. The game was rugged, it was big, it was bold, it was blocky, and it worked really well. If you had a massive TV, I tended to play in car a lot then. It was a really sort of rugged, bumpy feeling. Got to get used to the handling, sort of slidey handling. It depends, well, it varies greatly on the car that you're driving. Go down that main straight. There's that Daytona viewpoint in car and the low cam. I mean, they just ripped it off around here. This really was just the advanced course with the tunnel at the end as well. And why not? Why not? You know, I mean, it was good to see it. Kind of reminded me a lot of the arcade games of the era in terms of Dirt Dash and stuff like that. I mean, this combined lots of ripping off, lots of titles, and to great effect, you know, at the time. So, going back then, Spring 96, the PlayStation's been out for 6 months or so, and we saw this on big TV, and it looked ace at the time. Really liked the intense look to it. The game that was then released quite a while later after that, it might have even been shown before that, because it took quite a long time between seeing the early version and it finding a publisher and being released. And in a way, I guess it wasn't as impressive when it was released as when we first saw it, but there was still that pop-up in there. But either way, really enjoyed playing it. So that even though it's the title nobody really knows that well now, not many people talk about it, was actually quite influential at its time, you know, and it was, you know, one a lot of racing gamers really enjoyed. And the more you played it, and when you eventually understand the handling and what car is for what courses and so on, the more you sort of really optimize your speed and those cornering speeds. But the AI is completely rubber band. I mean, you can crash 10 times and win a race. You can like drive perfect and come in 8th place. It really is all over the place in terms of AI. The cornerings can be a bit tricky. You just sort of ride the brake. So you press an accelerator and brake a little bit just to slow the car down in some of these corners. So there was a bit of touch of brake there just to keep it on the inside. Otherwise it will just gradually go out. When it starts grinding into the wall, you lose all your speed and it's horrible. A little more difficult than it looks. Trying to close up 5th and final lap, but unfortunately it didn't all work out for me. Looks like 4th place finish on that track. Now that's the easiest of the tracks, but in actual fact quite often I found it one of the hardest to actually get anywhere on, because of the way the AI worked. So then we have a replay mode as well. This is a game with cockpit cam, manual gears and replay. There, just saying, you know, it had it all in there. and not all games can manage that now. But whatever. Either way, lots of fun, and it was nice to see that they included this. Sometimes you like to watch the replays. You've got this kind of chilled music afterwards. I think after the intensity of the game. Oh, there it was. More Burning Road. I love that. It's so cheesy and crappy, but it's the thing of the time. Advanced. Decided like this. Please choose. We're going to go for automatic gears now, and we're going to try the advanced course. I thought a bit of loading time. Let's see what the loading times are like. Loading times are alright, actually. Not too bad. It's funny, actually. We talk about games today being instantly loading. And last night, I think I must have had like an hour of downloads on my PS4 before I could even play it last night. I had a PS4 update, a Project Cars update, a Drive Club update. I was waiting there for an hour and a half before I could actually play a game. Right, cracking on then in the big 4x4. This was the wrong vehicle to choose for this race. I now know, but so it wasn't the easiest to drive on here. The bumps, look at the intensity. Hardcore over there, lots of cars crashing. Now there's no grip. This is where the big truck sort of has a bit more grip than the other cars around it, but not much more. It doesn't make a huge amount of difference. We've got the 8-ball in the car there. It's the air freshener thingy. Intensity, intense driving, action. I'm trying to close up on the lead before it all goes horribly wrong for me, I think, in a moment. Hit that car and boom. So basically hitting the other car hit the wall, and that blew me up as well. And now my wheels are all sort of wobbly. Don't really know if it makes any difference to the overall handling, though I struggle now to get back into my flow on this race. I always like that though, the sort of excitement of your guy there. It's a really cool course, it's really nice, it's big, it's bold, everything's massive. Playing this on a big TV at the time felt ace, compared to what we had in the past, of course. It was a real sort of proper arcade game feel. Worth doing some time trials as well if you played it a lot. And of course then you've got the higher viewpoints as well. You can see how your wheels get all wobbly after a crash. And closing up as well. So Burning Road then, Funsoft, nice little game. It was a game that, like I say, isn't talked about as much these days. But there was a Burning Road 2 that was released a couple of years after this, and it was one of the worst driving games ever made. I remember being really excited hearing about Burning Road 2 and saying, wow, imagine what the new graphics are going to be like now they've improved over the last couple of years, and it turned out to be one of the worst games ever. I think I played it and took it back to the shop, so I don't think I have the sequel. So either way, I'll see if I can get some footage of it at some point and run a bit of that one day. Not in the near future. We've got stacks to get through in the meantime. I'm right now working on all my Sebastian Loeb stuff. It's always great to see how the graphics have moved forward, but you can still see working my way up. All those crashes, you'd think, hey, it's all over. Restart your race. No, we have rubber band AI. Anything is possible in the final corner on these races. And you can see basically the whole field are there. And they just sort of hang around you and bash into you and make life difficult. But after all that, we made it. Now what's interesting again now as we move on to next track. Yeah. Oh, hold on. We've got to have the music.
Please select your car. Decide it like this. Please choose to decide it like this.
There we are. I can't remember what I was talking about now. I've completely lost. But yes, Burning Road 2, rubbish. It's not a game worth buying, and if I do get the option of getting some footage, I will do at some point. But it's not. I have a lot of games, but I'm not a collector of rubbish. They tended to be games I played, completed, and everything else. So put a lot of time into them. This is the third course now of the 3 courses I can remember in the game. I don't think there are any other courses. My memory card sort of loads a championship, and these are the courses on there. And yet, funnily enough, I found this to be the easiest course. In my first go, not knowing the course, I came first. And again here, I think I do better. So, working my way along. The difficulty is very high in the championship mode. It requires absolute perfection, and the rubber band AI just makes it plain impossible sometimes as well. So, it is really, really tough trying to get anywhere. Getting past the second course is a nightmare. So, I'm a race leader. Race leader! They don't have a name word for that, but they should do, shouldn't they? We've got the singing in the background. So it's all the best of the cliches. They played a bit of rock and roll racing, didn't they? Took a few sound effects out of rock and roll racing. Looked at Ridge Racer, looked at Daytona USA, and thought, hey, let's bung it all together in one game. But good fun. And I think if you had Link Up at the time as well, it would have been amazing. I mean, you'd have felt like you've had the arcade in your living room if you had this running on Link Up at the same time. Work my way up now. I'm really pushing quite hard here. This is actually quite tough to keep the car going in the right direction. I'm thinking, no, come on now. Close up that gap faster. But amazingly, the game got some decent reviews at the time. Racing against 7 computer opponents, and of course the head-to-head and link up. So not much other information on it, not a great deal more to the game than that, but either way, one that was sort of important for its time. I'm glad myself it made it to the UK. As we go into the final lap now. Now, I'm serious now. I wanted to win this race. I just thought, come on, win this. Win this. It's so hard to drive these cars perfectly. Touch on the brake, but it's still getting out there. It's like magnetic walls just sucking it in. You can come on, faster. Affect my line a bit. I'm learning the course a bit more every lap, so it gives me an idea on technique. It's so difficult, that corner. Getting bashed into, I'm thinking, no, hang in there. And that sort of pushed me out wide. And we just make it across the line. So we are first place. One thing I will point out actually is I actually managed the first place before recording this, and it's quite funny because it actually I didn't make the finishing line, so nobody in the entire race made it in the time limit, which is crazy. So that's how tight the time limits are on the game. So you could be leading and not have enough time to get to the next checkpoint and win the race, so you don't qualify. Okay, so that was it for this race, and we finished with just a demo on Burning Road. So Burning Road, you know, one for the PS1. I liked it at the time. I mean, it hasn't aged as well as other games, but I guess I do look back on this with a sort of a fanboy point of view, that it's simple, it's fun, it's big, it's colourful, and it's got more racing intensity than some of the modern ones on the market today in its own way as well. You know, I've had quite a lot of fun just playing this today and catching up with it. But there are many more to go through, lots of old retro racing games. I'll be building that playlist, and there'll be another retro video from me next Monday. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon.